You were the easy one. The child who didn't argue, didn't cry too long, didn't ask for too much. While other children screamed or rebelled, you learned to fold your needs neatly into silence. You learned early that peace in your home depended on your ability to disappear, that being loved meant being good, agreeable, polite, responsible, predictable. You didn't know it then, but you were forming your first contract with the world. If I can just be perfect, maybe I won't be left behind. That obedience once saved you. Now it's what's suffocating you. What you experienced is called childhood conditioning, learning that love must be earned. Parentification happens when a child becomes the emotional adult. You soothed anger, read moods, carried guilt too heavy for small shoulders. Your nervous system wired itself to stay alert, your amygdala always scanning for danger. Then came the fawning response, the fourth trauma survival mode. Not fight, not flight, not freeze. Fawn. Please adapt. You survived by becoming small enough to be safe. And deep down, conditional self-worth took root, the idea that I am lovable only when I am good. Your brain learned that love equals compliance. Your body learned that silence equals safety. There's a tragedy in being the good one. You look calm, but inside you're starving. Starving for freedom, for permission to be human. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But for the good child, that privilege feels dangerous. You grieve silently, not the loss of love, but the loss of self. You were loved for being convenient, not for being you. Kierkegaard called it despair, the despair of never being oneself. You spent a lifetime trying to be good enough for others, only to end up unseen by yourself. So what happens when that good child grows up? They become adults who look fine, but are quietly exhausted. You might overperform at work because peace feels unsafe. Stay silent in relationships to avoid conflict. Feel guilty for saying no. Struggle to name what you feel. Confuse self-worth with usefulness. Feel empty even when everything looks perfect. These are not flaws, they're coping mechanisms. You don't need to hate the good child inside you. You only need to see them, to whisper, "You're safe now. You can rest." Healing is not about becoming less kind. It's about becoming real. Start with awareness. Notice when you shrink. Ask yourself, who taught me that peace must be earned? Then practice inner child reparenting. Tell yourself what you needed to hear back then. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to say no. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. Through shadow work, welcome the parts you've exiled. The angry one, the selfish one, the wild one. They all belong. As Nietzsche said, one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. You don't have to earn love anymore. The person you've always tried to be isn't better, just safer. But you deserve more than safety. You deserve freedom. You deserve wholeness. You're not broken for having learned obedience. You were a child who adapted beautifully to survive. But now, your task is not to be good, but to be whole. If this spoke to you, stay, because this space is for those unlearning perfection and learning to be real again. The good child doesn't need to disappear anymore. They just need permission to finally come home to themselves.